Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about what I personally think are the top 10 worst rainbow high dolls. So last year, like late last year, I started doing top 10 videos for like my top 10 favorite dolls of various brands that I personally enjoy, just because like it's fun to kind of take a look at all of the dolls in a brand's catalog and figure out which ones are your favorite, especially because that can change over time. And so like through the years, I think it'll be interesting to be able to go back to those videos and see what my favorites were back then compared to what they are like in the future. And you guys said that you would like to see me do the same thing, but for the worst dolls of any brand. So like my top 10 worst dolls from any given brand. And since the Rainbow High reboot has, still been pretty fresh on the collective doll collector consciousness lately, I thought it would be absolutely fitting to just keep crapping on Rainbow High and talk about my least favorite Rainbow High and Shadow High dolls. All in good fun. Like it's all in good fun. This is of course going to just be my opinion. So if you guys disagree with me, if some dolls that you love are on this list, I'm sorry. Everyone just has different opinions and it's totally okay. Definitely let me know what you think of these dolls in the comments down below. But yeah, that is what we are going to be doing today. If you guys do enjoy your time here, if you could give the video a like, that's very helpful for me. If you're new and you find yourself enjoying the video, definitely subscribe so you can see more. And if you want to go out of your way to support me, I have links and stuff in the description down below. Also in the description, I feel like it's been a while since I've said this, so I want to shout this out again. I have links for how you can support a cat rescue called the Tabby Tails Cat Rescue. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. They don't know that like I promote their links and stuff in my videos, but that's in the description of all of my videos just because I think that they're a cat rescue doing really, really important work, and I am a cat fanatic. So if you have some extra money or some extra way that you can give back to them and you feel like doing so, definitely check out those resources. Obviously, if you're not in a position to be able to do that, like that's chill. Maybe just go support them on social media. But yeah, I did want to go ahead and shout them out today. But without further ado, let's start talking about some ugly Rainbow High dolls. So while I was making this list, I actually had kind of a hard time figuring out which dolls I wanted to highlight, just because there are definitely some brands that have maybe more dolls or just dolls that I like less, so it's easier to think of dolls that I don't like from them. But honestly, looking at the entirety of the Rainbow High catalog, there were not 10 dolls that I actively was like, this is a hideous doll. So some of the ones on this list are going to be pretty tame. Also, there are going to be several repeats from a relatively recent video that I did, was the worst dolls of 2023. Some of the later Rainbow High dolls are going to be featuring on here, so some of that's going to be repetitive. I'm sorry. I'll try to keep it interesting with you. And there are going to be some that are different. Anyway, starting off with a different one is my 10th least favorite Rainbow High doll, and that is the Cheer Poppy doll. Now, I am biased just because I don't really do cheer dolls. I just don't get that. They're not super fun to me 99% of the time. I will say I think that Rainbow High's cheer line was more interesting than some other dolls' cheer lines, because at least each doll had like a slightly different look, like they weren't all literally the exactly same uniform. But the reason Cheer Poppy is on here is honestly because I'm like a little bit bitter. Just because I like Poppy. I love the color orange. I think that Poppy's dolls tend to be really, really cute. And I love her eye makeup on this doll because it's like butterflies around her eyes. It's just so pretty, so cute. And then she's got like the little like black stripes under her eyes. And I know that those serve a purpose for people who are like actually playing sports. But to me, it ruins her face, and it actually really, really bothered me because I probably would have picked this doll up on sale if it weren't for that. Yes, I probably could have gone in with a Q-tip and like been very careful and removed just the stripes with acetone. But it just really bothers me, okay? I know that this is a very picky reason to include her on this list. That's kind of the point. Like I said, there weren't enough dolls that I thought were outright terrible for me to really go hard on all of these, but I am bitter enough about Cheer Poppy to put her in the number 10 spot. Coming in at number 9 is going to be a doll that I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with, and that is totally fine. I get it. But it's Nicole Steele from Series 1 of Shadow High. I just really don't love this doll. I do think that she has a cool concept. I think that her hair is actually very, very pretty. But what bothers me, and I've said this so many times before, is that there are like competing tones of gray on her, and some are kind of warmer tones and some are cooler tones. And it just is very distracting to me. I just don't like how it looks on her. It doesn't feel cohesive, and it just feels kind of jarring whenever I see a picture of her. I also wasn't really a big fan of any of her clothing pieces. So like, that doesn't help her case, because if I would have gotten her, it would have been for the base doll, and I just didn't really like any of the clothing. Again, this one's not like as strong a feeling as we're going to get to. Like, I'm going to get a lot meaner as we get to the top of this list. This one is kind of a light listing, but I still felt like I had to include her, even though I know so many people love her. Just for me personally, not a fan of this doll, so she's at number 9. Then we are taking it all the way back to the first release from Rainbow High for number 8, and I want to sadly highlight the original Jade Hunter doll. I will say, like, I don't outright hate her either. Like, we're getting a little higher up on the list. I don't think that this is the worst doll ever. I just think that she could have been a lot better. I do get the idea of having a character who like identifies as female but still wants to dress in like baggier clothing. Like, I think that that's fine. And I think that that could be a fun way to show kids that, like, you know, you can wear anything regardless of your gender or whatever. That's fine. But honestly, this doll doesn't feel like she's doing that. This doll is just an outright Billie Eilish like knockoff, and it does really bother me. The other thing that has like become more and more of a pet peeve of mine over time with the original Jade Hunter doll is the fact that Jade within the Rainbow High series and like within the canon of Rainbow High is a makeup focus. Like, she loves to do really fun, bold makeup looks, and the makeup on this doll is just absolutely not giving that whatsoever. And like, obviously, even someone who likes to do makeup can have an off day where they don't feel like wearing makeup. That's fine for real human people. But for a character who is supposed to be so deeply into makeup, to have such a boring makeup look is honestly, it's something that's become more offensive to me over time. Plus, I just don't like super vibe with at least her first outfit. I did like her second outfit a lot better. But yeah, Jade, not my favorite. I think I've liked her like less as time has gone on. Sorry, Jade. She has had other really good dolls, but as far as her original one, definitely not my favorite, so she's at number 8 for me. Number 7 is another throwback, and that is the original Avery Styles doll that came with like the styling studio with a bunch of extra clothes. I wanted to love this doll so much, and I tried for so long to like her. I actually did think that her makeup was cute. I think the wig gimmick was a little bit rough, like her hair never quite sat right. But honestly, for me, more than anything else, I just couldn't style this doll. Despite all of the extra clothing that she came with, despite all of the extra clothing that, like, in general, Rainbow High dolls used to come with, because they used to come with 2 outfits. So, like, there were more pieces that I could use to try to style her. I would try for hours to try to style this doll into something that I really truly loved for my display. And there were times when I felt like she looked okay, but I just could never get her to look exactly how like I would like for her to look. I just couldn't find a way to style her to love her. So maybe this one is also a bit personal, but there was just something about her that made her, for me, very, very difficult to style, very difficult to like dress, and like even you couldn't do her hair because the wig, like it was hard to do different hairstyles because of how it was on her head. She just didn't work out for me. I did end up selling her in a Rainbow High lot at some point just because she wasn't bringing me any joy in my collection, so I was hoping someone else would be able to get some joy from her. So sadly, she definitely needed to be on this list. Okay, numbers 6 and 5, I did kind of cheat. Spoiler, these were on my worst dolls of 2023 list, and I grouped them together for that because I had enough dolls. I didn't have enough dolls that I hated from Rainbow High to make this list. Okay, so I kind of cheated with number 6 and number 5. So number 6 is the Junior High Laurel Devious Twin. I've said time and time again, I don't think that these were good outfits, at least within the context of a Junior High doll. I do think that the dress is kind of nice. Like, I think it's kind of fun. I don't like the socks with the heels. Like, that's something that Rainbow High has done a lot, and sometimes I think it's executed well. This was not a case where that was like how it felt to me. I didn't really feel like it went well together, and I feel like they are wearing cocktail dresses in Junior High, and it doesn't work for me. I'm so sorry. I know some of y'all really like these dolls, and again, that's fine. Like, if it makes you happy, that is super. But I wasn't a fan of the Devious Twins in Junior High, and I think that like Laurel is slightly lower on this list just because I do like her color scheme a bit better. I feel like it looks a little bit less jarring than the number 5 spot, which is going to be her twin sister Holly, same edition like the Junior High one. I just think it looks a little bit worse. Like, the whole design, I have all the same complaints, obviously, because it's the exact same design, but I like it less in this color scheme. I think what really kills it is the black socks, because like, since the Devious Twins have pretty pale skin, the white socks on Laurel are like a lot less obvious to me at first glance, and like I can kind of pretend that it's not happening. But on Holly, the black socks are just really in your face, and I just think that they look so bad with the shoes that were given to these dolls. So yep, kind of cheating, like I said, 6 and 5. I mean, like, realistically should have been on 1, but then it would have been a top 9 list, and that's just, it doesn't work with the rest of the series, okay? It wouldn't fit in. So 6 and 5 are the Junior High Devious Twins. Editing me here, I would actually like to retroactively change my mind and place both of the Devious Twins junior high dolls at number 6 so that I can squeeze in the budget swim Skylar to number 5. I honestly completely forgot about the monstrosity that was her printed on denim bathing suit until I was editing for this video. Like I went through all the dolls to find my top 10 least favorites and just glossed over her because I think I wanted to forget this existed. But honestly, the rest of her doll is fine. I have such a violent hatred towards this hideous, hideous swimsuit that they put her in. So we're just gonna retroactively change the list a little bit and add Skylar in because she deserves to be punished for this. Number 4, it's the budget version of Emmy Vanda, and it's not because she's a budget doll, because like I do understand the need for budget dolls, and I think that a lot of the other Rainbow High budget dolls were executed in a much better fashion, but Emmy just doesn't look anything like her original doll. Her hair is a completely different color. I feel like all of the clothing pieces she got are like simplified, which makes sense for a budget doll, but they're simplified in a way that just makes them so ugly and they just feel so misplaced. Like they don't feel like they go together. I don't really look at this doll and feel like she's a fashion doll. Honestly, she's like the closest thing to a budget looking Barbie doll that I feel like we've gotten from Rainbow High. That's kind of the same vibe that she gives off to me. So it's not that I'm trying to hate on her just because of like the lack of articulation and stuff, even though that does also bother me because I'm kind of an articulation snob. I just really don't think this was the best doll. So she is at the number 4 spot. Top 3, we're starting off strong with a doll that's easy to hate, at least, for me, and that's the original River doll. I just don't love this. I feel like the Rainbow High boys have pretty consistently been made fun of because River was the first one and it just wasn't done well. They did make improvements over time, and so sadly River is just like kind of out here, the first Rainbow High boy doll. And I just really, really hate the face. He has got like this terrible, terrible baby face mixed with this extreme musculature on his body. And it's very unsettling. I don't like it. It feels like something that you would see in like a weird cartoon where like an adult man gets like zapped by some science ray. I don't know. I'm like making this up as I go. But like, and his head turns into a baby head, but he's still got like a big buff body. That's what River looks like to me. And it's just jarring every single time I see him. I feel so guilty because like I want to like boy dolls in general, and there are some boy dolls that I think are done very, very well. I just think a lot of the time brands don't try as hard with their male dolls as they do with their girl dolls. I will say that he's got some nice clothing pieces. Like his clothes were thought out to some degree at least, but the body and the face are just so distracting that I can't get over them. So I had to put River at number 3. Number 2 is a very new release, and that is from actually the reboot of Rainbow High, and that is going to be the Slime Violet doll. I just think this is absolutely terrible. Like, obviously, I, like many other collectors, have reservations about the rebrand and what that's going to mean going forward and like how the dolls are going to look. And all of that aside, like even ignoring all of that, I just think this is such a bad doll. I have no idea what is going on with her outfit. It just looks so childish. And like, I understand that they're aiming more at like a kid audience, but that's the case for all of these dolls, right? Like not all of them look this level of childish. It just looks so ridiculous to me. And like not even in a fun way, like not in like a, oh, she's themed like a clown, so like it's kind of silly and goofy, but it makes sense. That would be better if she was a clown, because then at least it would make sense that she's got these huge sequins all over her for no reason. But she's not. She's supposed to be like a fashion person, like a fashionable human being, and she's wearing this, and it just bothers me so, so much. I feel like Violet always gets the short end of the stick with Rainbow High, and their slime dolls are definitely proving that, because I think this is a rough doll, to say the least. So she made it to the number 2 spot. And then for number 1, I don't think that people who have watched my channel before are going to be surprised by this, but it's going to be the junior high Stella Monroe doll. I feel like even Stella's like full-size doll, people are pretty divided on, especially as time has gone on. I think people have kind of liked her a little bit less. I feel like she had some cool pieces and some pieces that were really, really rough. And it's as though Rainbow High took all of the roughest pieces and then shoved them back at the junior high version of this doll, only they somehow made it even worse. She's supposed to literally be nobility, and she's got this goofy, dinky little tiara on her that is frankly just absolutely terrible. I really can't stand like the dress or anything. And it's also simplistic. Like, I know that not all of the junior high dolls got tons of pieces, but a jacket, anything other than just this terrible dress that we're forced to look at. I also think that her face is a bit unsettling. I am really, really bad at sculpts in general, but especially with Rainbow High, sometimes it's hard for me to tell different sculpts apart for like the face sculpt. But I don't know what face sculpt they use. I don't know if this is the same as other of the junior high dolls. Something about it on Stella just looks so terrifying and like a little bit uncanny valley. And I'm very obviously not someone who is like afraid of dolls in general, but this Stella kind of makes me afraid. I honestly think that she's like a shameful addition to the Rainbow High canon, hence why she is my #1 least favorite Rainbow High doll. But yes, guys, that is going to be it for today. Those are my top 10 least favorite Rainbow High dolls. Now that the video's over, I kind of feel bad piling on with the hatred with Rainbow High, just because I know that they've been experiencing a lot lately. I know that the rebrand is not something that a lot of people are excited about. You know, I've done like a video talking about my thoughts of that. I did a review of the Amaya doll, and she really wasn't nearly as bad as I expected her to be. And I mean, even on this list, there was only one doll from the rebrand that I felt deserved to be on it, at least in my opinion. But I still kind of feel bad, like just being like, hey, let's poke more fun at Rainbow High. At the same time, though, I love to poke fun at dolls sometimes. It's just entertaining, or at least I hope it is. Definitely let me know what you guys thought of the video today. I hope you do have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.